Hey, welcome back. Again, kind of, I guess. Actually, this is more of, as you can tell, going to be me talking about another one of my ships. Specifically the one that I call the Reaper. I was going to do a full episode today, but I kind of decided not to, seeing as Steam decided to crap itself again and was throwing all sorts of weird errors every time I tried to run Space Engineers. So I decided against doing that since it's now like 2:30 in the morning and I'd rather not spend 4 hours playing Space Engineers if I can sleep. This is one of the few large ships that I actually built originally in survival mode, minus one or two odds and ends. Specifically, I just replaced the jump drives in this thing because it apparently the last time I actually updated this thing, when I put in the oxygen system in it, it still had a warp drive in it from the old days of gravity and mass blocks and stuff like that. And I'm turning in circles, and I don't really know why. As you can see, we got our new really awesome looking skybox. That may be part of the problem of why it was giving me all sorts of weird issues, and I had to re-verify the cache 4 times. But hey, whatever. I actually kind of like this one a lot better. Like, a lot better. I like this. I really like this skybox. But anyway, on to the Reaperiness. I'm going to kind of start up in the front here and go on our way back. I really don't have any odds or ends of why I do this, why I did this, because I made this thing like 2 years ago originally. And I just keep updating it as new stuff comes out. Well, I do know that I did put a crap ton of rocket launchers on this thing so I could actually engage other large ships, hopefully blowing them or just ripping them a new one. But I do know that I put this stupid camera on here so I can actually see and telescope my view quite a ways away, because I really like it when I can do that, and I hate having to like guess at what something is like a long ways off. On our way back, we've got our front little open hatch like object, the air seal thingy. Kind of obvious there. Extra pillars. I did not want to have very many flat spots on this ship, as you can tell. Like on this entire thing, there are very few flat spots. Makes it much harder to board or land on, minus one or two spots intentionally put there. Most of these thrusters are recessed in, trying to get them kind of as best concealed as possible, so if you get a profile view on it, it's much harder to hit. So I do like my curved exterior, which was, I remember, an absolute pain to do in survival mode. You would not believe the scaffolding I had to build at the time. But it's done now, whatever. This is kind of a weak point in my system here. These are the ammo tubes that go straight into like my vertical thrusters on this ship particularly, which I could have put, I guess I could have armor blocked this, but I decided against it because I kind of like the exterior tubes. Plus I've got the two turrets, which I keep forgetting to turn off before I blueprint this thing, and it always shoots stuff when I first load it in. Got more horizontal thrusters. All my vertical ones are kind of tucked away behind this kind of external spot here, or this external wing. Got plenty of forward thrust on this, like a lot of forward thrust. Again, no real flat spots. Down below I do have a few turrets, a couple of bottom turrets. I've got a connector, which if I remember right is attached to a piston that will extend out. One of the few flat spots on this thing. I've got direct cargo access because this was made to be a fully functional base, like mobile base, along with a couple extra turrets in here, all 100% survival ready, and an enormous, like, I guess it could be a pain to build. We've got ourselves here kind of a viewing room on the top, which I really didn't furnish much of this because I didn't need to at the time, and I still really don't. But a lot of people would mistake this for the cockpit, which it is not. The cockpit is down here through several layers of reinforced glass, which you cannot see through very well, and kind of more blast resistant because of it. I believe, if I remember properly, the interior of this sucker right in this area, like there's an external spot right here on this flat spot, that underneath that it's 2 layers thick and the interior layer is heavy armor. I know that much because I intentionally made this thing extremely difficult to get into. Plus the multiple layers of glass, makes it slightly harder to get into, and less likely to be shot because they're more likely going to be aiming above it. Yes, I opened all the doors in this thing. But you have kind of an entryway here, which has all the little tubes running up. Each one of those rocket launchers up front is connected to a conveyor, so fully loaded. It does have a sound system up here to warn of any enemy ships within like 500 meters of it. Along with anybody coming inside of here, it'll trip a sensor. You have cameras to see the interior here, and see who's boarding your ship, whether it be friendly or not. A few extra seats for passengers. I remember this being much smaller, but I think I had a few extra walls stuffed in here. Plus a couple of consoles, which you'd have to grind your way into here. I'd say more like security consoles, is kind of the idea. You can sit here and you can kind of watch who's coming in your ship. These aren't main cockpit consoles anyway. You can see who's coming in, you can scan them or check their gear, make sure they're not horrible pirate people or something. We've got several more little interior door locks, which will be an absolute pain to have to grind your way through. And before we go straight into the back, we'll just go downward and work our way toward the back. Anyway, this way, this goes into the engineering bay. Through more airlocks. Quite a few more. And you have the entire mess of systems that I've put in this thing. We've got ourselves conveyor systems up the wazoo. We've got multiple oxygen systems, several oxygen tanks for backups. We've got ourselves our extra backup batteries. There's a whole crap load in here. I think it's like 30 or something like that extra batteries. I really don't remember. Extra tubes, extra conveyors. You can see who's down below you working. Keeps this thing completely sealed off. Get your way back through here. You've got access to your antennas and your communications arrays. This is your extra cargo bays for various spare parts and such. You can work your way all the way down through another airlock, which this is unpressurized due to these things not actually being partially external. You can drop down in here and you can repair any conveyors or whatever, fix the gravity generator and the such. I'll close that back up. No, whatever. You stay close. That way it'll repressurize and I'll just start shutting doors on my way back. And this comes up the exact opposite side. Nope. I think I'm just going to take this thing. Nope. That one. You don't even have a door command for all this stuff. All doors closed. There. That way you can repressurize later as I go through the ship. Through here, out through there, because this is the main common room we were just in. And more seating and such like that, which I still need to put tables or something in here, maybe just to make it look better. And we have our jump drive room, which originally used to be layers of gravity blocks, or gravity generators, mass block gravity generators, because this is the exact center of the ship, right, or on this layer here. It was an enormous pain. Because there's also no vents in here, which I should fix eventually. I gotta figure out where all the vents go. Anyway, come up in here. This is kind of the main directionary room. Get you kind of anywhere you want really in the ship. And yes, these gyroscopes were an enormous pain to put in. Like, it took me like a week straight of actually working on this daily to make it work. If I remember properly, this thing has 6 large reactors, or what was it, 6? 4, no, 4 or 5. 5 large reactors in it to power this sucker. And it does turn quickly. Now, if we head our way up, one layer directly into the center here, kind of sorta, here's our med bay. Fully loaded up, attached with oxygen and all sorts of stuff. And you can easily get anywhere in the ship from here. You can walk around to the side here, or you can take a shortcut and just jump staircases. You come up here to this door, which happens to be the bridge. Kind of stupid. No single command. You can see directly outside, you can see immediately what's in front of you, and I don't think there's anything important on this thing. Fire your rockets out, whole crap load of rockets at targets, and it fires directly in between those 2 upright posts. It's kind of by design. And all this right here is heavy armor interior blocks. I believe the level right below this is heavy armor, and I know the ceiling used to be. I may have changed that, but slightly more defensible. And you could walk all the way around or just walk across there. All the way up to the top, and this is what people would confuse as the bridge, and you have your kind of viewing area. Here, you can see outside, see what's going on, look up, look around, all that sort of stuff. And if you come directly outside through another airlock, since I really liked airlocks, and kind of the purpose was to reduce boarding, I've got myself kind of a little landing pad here, specifically for small ships, or friendly ships, or whatever. There's honestly no real turrets up here, which I really should have rigged one like right up here. Now we can just shoot down into this if they needed to. Have like an interior turret like stuffed over in this corner or something. I don't know. Something to that effect. But let's get back inside. We'll fly it around a little. We'll put our green shit out there and we might just shoot it a few times. And it moves actually fairly quickly for a ship of its size. So what I'm going to do spin around here, let it stop. Then into there. Shows a good, nice target on the side of his engines there. And there you go. And let's go to F8 view here. Zoom our way, zoom all the way over here. See what small volley did? It just kind of ripped it a new one right there. Completely took out those thrusters. Severely dampened his left to right move, or his horizontal movement. And it looks like we got our way. We got quite a few gyroscopes, entire wall of them almost. They'll be turning slower. Looks like his bottom engines are severely hampered as well. Yeah, we got ourselves quite an effective move there. And if I remember right, there we go. We can actually get a fairly decent target on this. Let's just take out the back engines here just to see if this is actually accurate. I really don't remember. Oh yeah. One volley. Oh. Armor shredded, but fairly useful. Okay. Well, there's the Reaper for you. Lord Tyson has spoken.